Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording of Hearthstone. So we have to win 5 games between Druid and Hunter, we have to cast 40 spells, and we have to win 3 games with Paladin. Now we have one trade here, so let's take out the cheapest thing and replace it with something just as cheap, but maybe a little bit easier to get done. So we will play Druid and Hunter, but first let's play the Tavern Brawl.
There's a new set of crazy rules each week.
The Master of Mages Delarian has gone too far this time, opening up a few hundred, opening up hundreds of portals. Choose a class and use a few spells while a whole lot of portals will defeat your rivals. Okay, so we just picking a class on this one. Who would we want? Hunter or Druid? Let's go with Hunter? I guess. We'll try the Hunter deck. Maybe we'll try the Druid deck. We'll see how that works out for us. We're back to a Tavern Brawl. We'll get one more pack that way, which is nice. For every Tavern Brawl, that is effectively the same as one Watch and Learn. So if they stopped doing the Watch and Learns and just always had Tavern Brawls, I would be fine with that. Although I do kind of like the Watch and Learns, they take they take up slots in which I could get actual gold, and I would like to have some actual gold. In my case, in particular, because without gold, I can't really do the whole opening 50 packs thing. Well, gee, what could I play? Unstable portal with the Hunter. See, I can already kind of see by this Tavern Brawl, which I think we've already done this before. I recall already doing this. Oh, that's great. It's just kind of boring doing unstable portal after unstable portal. We're just gonna sit here and watch this animation over and over again. Play this. Leroy Jenkins, interesting. I don't have Leroy Jenkins in my deck. He is a legendary. Let's see. Hey, how come this minions with battle cry cost 2 more? That sucks.
Drag no stupid!
We'll play this then.
In the light's name.
Job done.
All this really is doing is giving us random characters, basically for 2 mana. 8 damage to this guy. Let's play this. And one of these, I suppose. Bring this guy out. Could try and take this, get rid of this guy.
Face the light.
But I think I'm best just continuing to play. I am running low on unstable portals now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really? Why?
You win this
Well, interesting. I assume that that person had to go. They had a hard out as it was. Uh, like I said, boring. So, if we start seeing repetitions of things like that, then of the same tavern brawls, I'm gonna not be as eager for them.
Legendary.
Ooh,
Epic.
legendary card.
Rare.
I do not believe I have that. So one legendary, 1600 dust. Only 2 of those even can be disenchanted. Interesting. So when we come over here, let's see, what did we get new? We got a Spellbinder, we didn't have one of those. And then 2 new cards here. One of which was a second Master Swordsmith, nice. And then the legendary creature, Gruul. Where is he? Come on. Gruul. So, 1600 to make him. At the end of each turn, gain +1/+1. That is not a bad card. I'm gonna definitely have to consider playing with that. Let's see. We played as the hunter. Let's play as the druid. Let's see. Give me the druid on casual and start playing. So I have finished all of what is it? Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. Yes, that's what it is. I finally finished it because the series was, by my own mistake, 30-minute episodes. It's going to release for probably a lot longer than it should. That's gonna set things strangely in the kind of a strange position. What is kind of odd too is I hope what happens is that I am close to the end by the time Mankind Divided comes out. I hope. That would really suck if the whole series isn't even out.
Job's done.
The only way I could fix that would be to immediately start recording something to replace when it was supposed to release and then start releasing it early, which would suck. One of the things that's kind of the problem is Deus is happening after Tomb Raider, and Tomb Raider hasn't even started showing. So things may be off. I need to probably be more careful about looking at time frames of when things are going to be out. Just today, it was announced that Konami is not going to be working on any video games that are AAA titles or console games. I'm sure there'll be more clarification as to what they mean by AAA versus otherwise. They're probably just going to do cell phone games, except for like pro sports soccer or something. And I mean, whatever. What can you say about that? There's 2 ways.
Elune, guide my lance.
There's really 2 ways this whole thing works in the world of businesses and creative enterprises. Either all your creative elements get tired of doing what they're doing, or who they're working with as far as the management and the non-creative elements, and they all split up, or they go start their own company and skip from one company to the other, or so the creative elements decide to end it, or the opposite happens. All the management and non-creative elements decide that it's not worth the money and the effort, because there is a lot of money and effort required to make a good game, to make games anymore, and then they're out of it. In the end, whoever's the deciding factor only very slightly changes the outcome. Effectively, all the creative elements are going to be out of a job. If they leave on their own terms, they might be better prepared and planned to start their own company. I think inherently it should be a consideration that you would want
For the wild.
to have
Job done.
to be your own boss. There's a lot of work in it. You could say people like Tim Schafer and, let's see, the one that runs Valve, Gabe Newell, both became their own bosses and inherently lost a lot of the time that they would have been spending elsewise.
Job done.
That wasn't quite right. I should have just attacked this and not summoned anything. So yeah, Gabe Newell, not really putting 100% of his time in making Half-Life 3. I doubt he's putting any of his time in making Half-Life 3. Honestly, I kind of wonder if in both Tim Schafer and Gabe Newell's point, they might just be a little too old and a little too old-fashioned in their programming, and they haven't learned the new ways of doing things as much as a new team would be. And maybe that is the right way, is that once you fall behind on the times and aren't up with the new ways of programming, and like how do you make an Unreal Engine 4 game if you've been making Unreal Engine 1 games type stuff, maybe you should just,
Well,
if you're lucky and become the manager, the boss, and throw out your ideas and have other people who are more qualified now to finish it. So sometimes big people have to bite the bullet and become the boss and let other teams create games for them, take their ideas and run with them. Tim Schafer particularly has tried to do some of that stuff. We've gotten some strange games from that, such as Costume Quest, and even experimental things like Brutal Legend, which is way more disliked than it should be as a game. It actually has a good storyline to it. It's just one of the main gameplay elements is very off-putting, and then the other main gameplay element is just fine, really. Okay, let's see, give a minion +2/+2 and taunt. If only I had one more thing, but I don't, so I'm gonna end the turn. I don't think I'm gonna win this. Oh. So yeah, to get back to it, I'm done with Deus Ex. It really opened my eyes and helped me hop off any hype train that I might have been on for Mankind Divided. There's some weird just way they treat women, and I thought it was coming from the Japanese style side, but I think it's more of a French mentality, because I started looking. I played the first real mission with the commentary on, and it wasn't Japanese people saying the commentary. It was Eidos Montreal, so French Canadian type people who were saying they made these decisions. And if I went through all of the commentary, they were really explaining like why they did everything the way they did, and I probably would spend, if I went through all the commentary in the game, spend most of my commentary arguing with their commentary, because their decisions aren't what I believe to be correct. They did some really weird things. The game is pretty small by today's standards. The graphics are not very good by today's standards. And I think the graphics will be good for Mankind Divided, but I think the game will be small, and I think it will be a lot of running down hallways and sneaking and doing a very repetitive actions of either trying to do non-lethal takedowns or running around and doing some subpar run and gunning, because it's not going to be a Halo run and gun style game. It just can't. That's not how the game is designed to really be played.
Job's done.
See, if I end the turn now, I still get the card. Yeah. So I'm almost certainly gonna wait till other people review it before I get it and play it, unless I just get a ridiculous amount of donations and have no other games to play. I would probably prefer to put my investment in Fallout 4, because there's at least a lot more excitement about Fallout 4 than there is Mankind Divided. I do want to see more of the story, and I do like the artistic style, this whole setting of a future with cyborgs and all this cyberpunk style stuff. That doesn't really happen as often as you would think in video games. It's a lot more fantasy stuff, or in some other way changes it. Let's see. My other beast had +1, and then go ahead and place this, and in the turn. Because I did the Fall and then Human Revolution, I have a lot of footage. It probably is going to put me in line to play Borderlands. Probably. I now have to, after recording today's Hearthstone recording session, just do the paperwork, schedule things. There was a lot of content ID matches on Deus Ex Human Revolution. Lots of them. Fortunately, almost certainly they're not going to bother to respond to any of the things. I do have written permission to use all of this stuff.
The beasts obey me.
Anyways, but it very much seems like they're not going to respond to them, which means the 30 days will happen before it even is scheduled to be released, and then the content ID will be dropped. And that's kind of how you win at content ID, is that you have written permission, or you claim fair use. There was a court case that somewhat bolsters the claim of fair use a little bit, so that's nice. It's definitely something that's appreciated. There was like a 30-second video of kids dancing to a song. They sued probably the wrong person, I assume maybe a lawyer or something like that, and she took them to court, and the court said, no, you have to actually consider fair use before you take this to trial, or you're opening yourself up to be sued for liability for, I guess, for perjury maybe, or just damages because they inherently knew. From what I understand, that they were trying to say that they don't have to consider fair use at all, that they just don't have to do it, which is so very much a lawyer thing to do. It's just to say, no, we don't have to do it until we until there's been a Supreme Court decision proving that we, without a shadow of a doubt, have to do something, we're gonna just roll the dice and say no, we don't have to do it. There's a lot of bolstering and just bravado in our legal system instead of actual seeking the truth or precedence or what is morally right or what is legally right. It's just what can we get away with, and a lot of times what we can get away with is just saying no, we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it. And that's inherently what the content ID system has too, is of course we can claim we own something we don't own. Why couldn't we? As long as there's no law saying we can't. Although I'm sure there probably is a law saying they can't. Alright, let's see. This. And then this. And then we'll take this guy out. And then win. Good. Nice. Inherently, I would like to go back and see if there's a way to re-challenge like my Game of Thrones videos where people were claiming they owned the song to the Game of Thrones, which maybe it really was the people, and they were and they immediately like reaffirmed it when I said no, this is fair use. Being a Telltale game, I think I claimed fair use over having written permission, and maybe that was the problem, but I think maybe I even claimed written permission and they just reaffirmed it anyways. So then I just took out the audio using YouTube's new audio remove system, which is a tiny little nudge of the tip of your toe as of a step forward and kind of helping it. If somebody is coming back, if you on Content ID say I have a license of fair use and they come back and say no you don't, still YouTube hasn't got in on the process at all at that point. So when you deny it, you're sending an automatic notice. You're sending notice to their automatic detection Content ID system that you're disputing it, and it's up to them to either not respond, to agree with your dispute, or to disagree. And if they disagree, then you have to reaffirm it and put in like a lot more scary looking information about here's my contact information in case you want to sue me, and let's see, and here's my address, here's my name, here's all that. They already know your name from Content ID, but it's like type in a lot of how do we get in touch with you, and it literally is giving your information so they can sue you, because that is the next step. That YouTube is going to say, now you've got to show us paperwork that you filed a lawsuit against this person in 30 days, or we're going to still find in their favor. And who knows? I mean, that's really scary. The right thing to do would be to fill out that thing and say sue me. That is the right thing to do. But that is the scariest thing to do too, is to say, oh, I could have done better here. I should have summoned this, played the coin, then done that. So let's see, this guy gains 1 health. Let's go ahead and
We're using
kill this guy.
job done.
My fear is, can they file a lawsuit against you in some, I mean, what jurisdiction can they file it in? Are they going to file it in some kind of, some small district in the middle of Texas? Are they going to file it in Washington State? Are they going to file it in Washington, D.C.? Are they going to file it in New York City? Can they file it in any of those, or do they have to file it where you live? It's on the internet. There's a bit of a question there.
Elune, guide my lance.
So that's definitely more adds to the fear of going down that route for me. Of course, now inherently talking about this, I am saying I'm a coward. I don't want to have to do like videos and tell people, hey, I need a Kickstarter fund now. I need $10,000 because I'm being sued for this one video. And I certainly don't want it to somehow end up with me losing all of my videos and losing my account completely. So the whole system, of course, is built so that big businesses can bully small sole proprietorships, individual contractors that YouTubers are, I suppose. I don't know if we're an individual contractor as much as a sole proprietorship. Because I don't know if we're really being hired to do these things.
Another night on the prowl.
Let's see. Well, I could. I guess I'm just gonna do face attacks here. And even if they did file a lawsuit against me in the city I live in, so it would actually be feasible that I could show up in court. There's no guaranteeing you will win. There's thousands of dollars that you're gonna have to put up front, even if you can sue back for lawyers' fees and things. You still have to have money, and that's inherently, I think, the problem is that if they went and sued like millionaires that were doing YouTube, like if they sued PewDiePie, well, he's in a different country too, so I don't know if he's got some perhaps more protection than what an American might have, or less protection, perhaps. I don't know.
Someday I'll be just like you.
It just goes down this really nasty thing if it just keeps proceeding. There's no good way. The only light at the end of the tunnel is you spend months, if not years, in a court case. You spend thousands, if not millions of dollars on lawyers' fees, and at the end of the day, if you win, you might get a ridiculously high payout that they will never pay. That's inherently what you have to remember about court cases too, is that companies can effectively just never pay any amounts whatsoever, because it's still on the person who won the settlement that they have to go and say, here's my evidence that they have money in this account. I want to garnish this amount of the account. If anybody knows anybody that's ever tried to get child support from somebody that doesn't want to pay, it's effectively the same thing.
Unleash the beast.
Let's see. It in no way means that you would actually see the money. Companies can go bankrupt and just try to get out of paying it that way. So it's not unheard of, at least I think I've heard of it, where they've just gone bankrupt and then the next day they don't owe you anything and then they're right back to business. And that is certainly the worst part of the content ID. It's just the inherent unfairness for it. Just the inherent way it's set up to support big corporations, corporations with money that can threaten lawsuits and just lies and threats. You can make a whole business on lies and threats, and it shouldn't be that way. YouTube needs to create a system where they are more involved earlier, where they catch companies that are lying, where they kick them out of the content system. All they need to do really is step up the rules on being able to put things in content ID to the point where they start kicking out everybody who has ever lied ever. And that it would include even huge things like Vimeo and Viacom, CBS, ABC. All of them have lied at some point and said they own something that they didn't own. Kick them all of content ID until there's nobody left and then shut down the whole thing. And they have no legal reason in which they need to run content ID. It should just be like any other DMCA thing, where they actually have to file a DMCA and immediately show evidence that they're going to sue. And once it's like that, you're not giving them a couple extra steps and potential money in which they can do false claims and not perjure themselves with by doing an actual DMCA before they actually have to do a DMCA, which is the legal thing. And then the whole DMCA thing needs to be redone. Some of these laws that came out recently have all these like sub clauses in them and things that on the front of them they sound like they're great laws, but when you read them all, there's little sub secret hidden things in them that make it worse. It's ridiculous. It's all stupid politics, stupidness in general. There we go. We'll play this and play this. I'm not sure to get off that, anyways, which I've talked about a lot. Unfortunately, it is a major part of a YouTuber's life. Ideally, what I could do to solve this is I would have to have enough income coming in, and I'm talking
The pleasure is mine.
probably over $30,000 or $40,000 a month. But that's just a very rough estimate. If I had that much coming in, I would then try to make my own website off of YouTube and drive people to watching my own personal website with the videos on there. Then all of a sudden nobody really has this whole idea that they would try and sue one website that's not automated enough for them. It's not worth their time. It would effectively protect me from all of these false claims, but it would also pretty much ensure that nobody would see my videos new, and because then nobody would find my website that was new. It would all just be word of mouth. But I still probably do want to eventually get a website just as, at the very least, a backup location. A location not under the control of Google in any sense. And ideally not under the control of Amazon either. Because if somebody is looking to erase all my videos, it would be too easy for them to try and get both Amazon and Google to do it. But if it's
Well
on my own server, that's going to be a lot harder for them to do. Yeah, but I was getting off that conversation. I am not sure really what I'm going to play next in any of the slots. I've almost certainly blown past October, or I'll be well into October by the time
The beasts obey me.
I have
by the
returned.
in my recordings, so
Well played.
that's not something that's
Job's done.
going to happen. We're not going to have any like Halloween horror things. I would like to do Until Dawn. Unfortunately, I looked it up in Steam and it's not there. So apparently Until Dawn is just a PlayStation 4 game, which sucks. It looks like a cool idea. I like the story, I like the horror element, I want to do it, but when you start talking about doing console games, you're talking at least $600 of equipment that I don't have, because I don't have the new consoles, and I don't have the new consoles at all, and on top of that, wow, I didn't realize this was gonna be down to 1. I'm gonna win. No way I cannot win on this next turn. I would need a PlayStation 4, I'd need the game, so that's somewhere around $460 right there. I would need some kind of video capture device, well, unless I was going to actually try and trust their streaming video to YouTube. Oh, come on, that's pathetic. I wanted her to activate the trap. Let's see, let's do, I guess, one more. We've only been gone 37 minutes. So, yeah, unless I was going to trust their streaming to YouTube, which I don't trust because I don't think my internet's that good. And even if it was a very good internet, I don't really trust streaming as the quality of footage I would like to get. So then I'd need a video capture device, which is probably going to be about $300 more. So you're talking $770 right there. And that's just for getting a PlayStation 4, one game, and the capture device. Now, the second PlayStation 4 game that I would want to cover would only be would only require about $60 more to buy the game. But then once I start looking at the list of games I would want to play on the PlayStation 4, that list isn't super long. I guess technically I'd want to play Uncharted. I've never played an Uncharted, but I assume it's just going to be similar to the new Tomb Raider game, so I think that would be fine. And that's kind of it. I would still heavily prefer things to be on PC instead.
We're using real source.
PC makes a lot more sense. My PC is more powerful, I would hope, than a PlayStation 4 in every way. And I can certainly, for the cost of a PlayStation 4, put another video card in it and then almost certainly be way more powerful than a PlayStation 4. And the same is true for Xbox One games too, so it's not a situation where I am just favoring one over the other. I would definitely, if I wanted to play an Xbox One game, need to buy an Xbox One, need to buy the game, and buy the same capture device. So I don't need 2 capture devices probably for it. I can always switch back and forth, I would assume. And that would be a waste of money to do anything different than that.
Fine, I'll heal.
We're using real sorts.
Alright. I got a lot of Inspire cards here. See, deal 2 damage or summon a 1/1 sapling. Let's deal 2 damage here. And then do this. And summon this.
We're
And
using
then kill this.
real sorts.
Attack this.
Fine,
Attack
I'll
this.
want.
And then end the turn. Think that works? One of the things I am definitely thinking about is just when I am gonna do the Homestar Runner game, because that is a little bit of a strange game in itself. But
Fine, I'll want.
we'll just end the turn here. It's one of the Telltale games I got, and there are several Telltale games that are just lesser known. I haven't played them. Homestar Runner in particular, I think is going to be somewhat similar to like a South Park game, and I really wouldn't want to play the South Park game either. It's just not my style of comedy. I just don't really appreciate it or enjoy it. Let's see.
Sign up today.
Alright, let's play this.
Fine, I'll
Play
want.
this. And end the turn. Why is he thanking me?
thank you.
Is he gonna leave?
The scourge will consume you.
Interesting. Interesting move. Interesting move.
Well
This,
met. Well
this.
met.
And this.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
These guys
For the
are
wild.
trying to defeat me.
Fine, I'll want.
Let's see. Well, that sucks. Let's see. Looks like I might lose here.
Ready, sir.
I enjoy raiding.
If I could keep just a few of these guys alive.
To battle!
That would be nice.
To battle!
End the turn. If I had the owl, if I could play the owl, and then these two, I could win, I think. 5, 10, 20.
I thank you.
These guys have really set up badly.
Fine, I'll won.
For the wild. Job done. Well played.
Yep. I think I've lost. This guy's talking quite a lot. There you go. Here's his bloodlust. Does he have another bloodlust? Or just one?
I thank you.
Can he take me out? He should be able to. Really? You're gonna waste an attack on that? Oh, that is just stupid.
Greetings from beyond.
Let's see. We'll play this. We'll play this.
For the
We'll
wild.
attack here.
Job done.
And then we'll end the turn. And if he doesn't take the victory this turn, I'm gonna concede. I've shown him everything I can do.
Trogzor.
That's it. That's enough of that.
I concede.
That is enough of that. And that is enough of this recording. I think we've been going long enough. We've almost done destroy 40 minions. We've been going 47 minutes. We got the 3 out of the 5 Druid and Hunter victories. So next recording we will just be playing Paladin. And hopefully we'll, if we're really lucky, we'll get 3 Paladin victories right in a row. And then 2 Druid and Hunter victories right in a row. And then that would be just 2 episodes. Or recordings, which is what I'm calling them now. Of course, it really wouldn't hurt for me to go 3 recordings because I have been running short nearly every week for a very long time now. We are at 247 gold, and that's pretty good too. So we're almost halfway to our goal of 5,000. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. And if you would, please follow and friend me on basically every social media sites. There's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.